I hyperventilate sometimes when I'm in front of people. Hey, my name is Ashton. I work nights on Air1 radio, and I'm a dad. I'm a husband of almost 10 years now. And I guess my story is kind of the typical, but atypical at the same time. My dad left my mom when I was about 18 months old. When I was about 5, my dad came back into the picture and was told that he'd contracted HIV. By about 14, HIV had claimed my dad's life. So you have all these things leading up into my life that I had started to adopt as to what was normal. College was a really hard time trying to discover who I was as a person, because I was trying to live up to this role that, best way to put it, I thought everybody wanted me to be. When I was about 23, I ended up meeting my wife. We got married, and I thought, this is it. This is the point where I finally get normal. And it was anything but. About 3 years into our marriage, my wife and I split. I'd become a drug addict. I'd become an alcoholic. My marriage was just completely annihilated. And my wife moved out, which that just amplified that whole downward spiral as I was going through it. And there was one night I was literally driving home to an empty house. This song came on the radio, and it was from Casting Crayons of all bands. And it was Praise You in the Storm.
And I'll praise you in this storm, and I will lift my hands.
And I was like, God, what are you doing to me? How could you leave me? And I broke. At that moment, I realized everything I had done, everything I had destroyed in my life was all at my own hands. So a couple months later, my wife calls me and says, you know what? I'm not ready to throw in the towel yet. I believe we are broken, and we need to talk and see if this can be worked out, which was the best thing ever in my life. So we got back together, went into counseling. Things started turning around. I told my boss, I'm out. I'm done with clubs. I'm done with bars. I'm done with this whole scene. And my simple prayer, as much as I didn't believe God would hear it, was, if you could just save me, get me out of this life, I'll do anything. I'll scrub toilets at a church. And I was done. And then out of the blue, I get an email which looked like a junk piece that came in. It was from somebody I didn't know. The name was from someone at Air1 radio. I was told that you're somebody we should get to know. And I said, you don't want me, man. You really don't. For the first time I started feeling that acceptance, real acceptance. I was trying to push it away. And I met with people here at Air1, and we sat down and talked for 2.5 hours as if we'd known each other for years. By the end of that conversation, they were offering me a job. And my first words out of my mouth were, you don't want me. And he leaned in really close. And he said, do you think that there's not a moment that somebody's gonna be listening to you on the radio, that they're in that same situation where they need to hear that there is hope at the end of that tunnel? There is light. There is a chance. So I ended up at Air1. Couldn't think of any other place I'd rather be. And this is honestly the place, this Air1, what is Air1, saved my life as well.